name is Eva Andre Thomas, and this is my Interpersonal Communication Project, Human Services 508 at Liberty University. Interpersonal communication, according to Stewart, is the type or kind of communication that happens when the people involved talk and listen in ways that maximize the presence of the personal. Interpersonal communication involves exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling is sending information. Inhaling is receiving information. It's also verbal and or nonverbal. Interpersonal communication is complex. That means that it's more than just words. There's facial expressions, hand movements, eye contact, among other things. It's also continuous. That means that it's ongoing. And you've been in constant communication from the time you were born and will be until the time you die. And finally, it's collaborative. Both parties take part in the conversation and get to decide what happens next and the direction that the conversation will go. My overarching goals: 1 is to become a more effective listener. To do that, I will not be so quick to give advice or to conclude that it will be better to allow people to realize that they have the answer within them. Also, to listen more and give less advice. Not to think that I always have to have an answer. Some people just want you to listen. And to be more of an empathetic listener. Not being so easily distracted or jumping in with things that I want to say and or feel that are important to me, but may not be important to the other person or even effective. Enlarging the conversation. To enlarge the conversation, I will identify and expand areas of conversation that are presently limited in my communication techniques. I'll recognize the particular communication skill set, identify areas of weakness, and find skills and techniques that will strengthen my weak areas, while improving my overall interpersonal communication. Carbonell's behavioral blend, "This is expected of me," was DC, dominant and competent. The detected traits were task-oriented, outgoing, direct and detail-oriented, project-oriented, not people-oriented, too aggressive and argumentative, and relate poorly socially. The behavioral blend, "This is me," was DI, driving and inspiring. It's direct and decisive, inspiring and influencing, not very cautious or calculating, more active than passive, task and people-oriented, impressing and inducing. Potential barriers. In an effort to listen effectively, everyone will experience personal barriers. Michael Webb said, "Most of us are terrible listeners. We're such poor listeners, in fact, that we do not know how much we're missing." There are potential barriers to listening more effectively. My barriers are knowing the answer. I think that I have to know the answer, or that I know the answer before the speaker is finished speaking. Webb said that the potential solution to this is to wait for 3 seconds after the speaker finishes before giving your reply. This gives time to process what is being said, because the speaker may have already given the answer. Also, trying to be helpful by rescuing or advice giving. The solution would be to refrain from offering advice, even if the advice is good. Remember that it's rude to offer advice when the speaker isn't asking for it. Understand that I don't know it all, and that it will be good to allow people ample amount of time to work out their own problem. Just listen. Another potential barrier is interrupting. And a solution to this would be to direct the attention to the talker and be interested in what they have to say. Wait for a number of seconds before giving a response, and never cut in. Interrupting is one of my biggest struggles, because I'm always thinking of what I can bring to the conversation, and then want to get it in so quickly I interrupt. Identifying noise pollution. Noise pollution is anything that gets in the way of the listener getting the real message that's being sent by the speaker. There are two types of noise pollution, external and internal. One external noise pollution is multitasking. An example of multitasking would be vacuuming while your child is trying to ask a question, or doing homework while you're trying to spend time with your family. Peterson says one solution to multitasking is to focus on the speaker. Put down the vacuum cleaner and leave the homework. Focus on the speaker. A second solution for multitasking is listen in the moment, according to Stewart. Listening in the moment is listening to what is being said right now. Another external pollution is misunderstanding. One solution for misunderstanding is to repeat accurately, according to Stewart. To repeat accurately, you may even have to ask the speaker to repeat what has been said, and then you regurgitate it to him or her. And that will let the speaker know that you're interested in what is being said, and you care about what the speaker is conveying. Internal pollution would be judging. Judging will surely contribute to internal noise pollution. While the speaker is talking, keep an open mind. That will be one solution to help you not judge, and to be intent on keeping an open mind. Not everyone is the same, and we may not always agree, but how we would handle the situation may be different. And how we would handle the situation may be different. It's imperative to allow mistakes. Remember that no one is perfect. Another internal noise pollution is thinking of other things while the speaker is speaking. Be a mindful listener. You're not thinking of everything or everyone. You're only thinking of the speaker and the importance of being able to regurgitate what the speaker is saying. Let's sum it up. Interpersonal communication is communication between people who are connected. Everyone can identify ways that they need to be more effective in communicating in order to enlarge their conversation. Things that will make a more effective communicator will be self-awareness, knowing your strengths and your weaknesses while you're communicating, enhancing your skills. When enhancing your skills, you may need to read a book, you may need to listen to a lecture, anything you can do to improve your interpersonal communication. Practice, practice. Practice listening more intently. Practice your communication skills. Practice, practice. This will help you to evolve in communication. And listen to yourself. If you listen to yourself while you're communicating, you'll hear how you communicate, and you'll hear the areas of weaknesses that you need to improve upon. Listening takes determination and deliberate action on the part of all involved. Patterson, Grenny, McMillian, and Switzer says, stay in dialogue. Keep the information flowing honestly and freely in both directions. Respect, consideration, and sacrifice on behalf of the listener and speaker will help to enlarge the conversation. These are my references, and my references continue. This concludes my Interpersonal Communication Project for Human Services 508.